This is a huge point. So contrary to popular opinion, the Pacers aren't elite in transition. The Pacers play at a high pace, but that doesn't mean that they're elite in transition. Those are two different things that are often correlated, but are not necessarily so. The Pacers are elite in the half court. And it's just a little bit, I think this is such an important point because I keep hearing people say, oh, like we'll see if they can score in the half court. Like they do. Oh, they do. They always do. And I think,
well, I'm sorry to interrupt. It's a Haliburton thing. It's a negative Haliburton bias because this goes back to last year with the Wally thing. Like, I mean, the truth of the matter is that we mostly are surrounded by Knicks fans. So like the opinions you're seeing about the Pacers, that is the ingrained bias. It's an anti-Haliburton and by definition, pro-Brunson bias. Like this is something that they think Brunson can do that Haliburton can't. And that's like, and I brought it up earlier, and I don't think that personally, of course, I'm coincidentally biased, but I don't think I'm biased when I said what I said, that Brunson can create higher floor looks than Haliburton as an individual scorer. I think that's objectively true. I think due to his willingness to shoot high volume from the mid-range, that's just something he can do. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that I don't think that Haliburton can run a playoff half-court offense. I think he is really good at that. When I was critiquing Haliburton in the half-court, I was specifically talking about end of shot clock or end of game situations and his willingness to shoot those types of shots. I think those types of shots increase in value because it's just harder to create the types of look that make the Pacers great in the half court over the macro sample size, So like they're really good in the half court because of what they can do early in the shot clock, not because they're doing it in transition, but because Haliburton, as you alluded to so properly earlier in the pod, when Haliburton just puts your big in jail in the pick and roll, there's so many options at his disposal. He can find open 3-point shooters with 14 seconds left on the shot clock. They don't need to create the types of looks that the Knicks can. So it's two different things, but your point is well taken. They're a great half-court offense. It's just different than the way the Knicks can be a great half-court offense. Or excuse me, it's different than the way Jalen Brunson can be a great half-court offense player. Because to be frank, I don't believe that the Knicks are a great half-court offense. I think Jalen Brunson is a brilliant individual half-court offense player, but for different reasons, I don't think the Knicks are a very good half-court offense.
Yeah, no, that you articulated it so perfectly, and I agree with everything you said. And I'm glad you articulated it because I understood the nuance of what you were saying about like late shot clock situations and being able to generate offense in those circumstances versus the macro being able to operate a really efficient half-court offense across the 48 minutes of a basketball game. So those are two different things, and I thought you clearly kind of delineated them earlier, but here I think it's important to mention for the audience, like that is a big difference. And I do think it comes down to people kind of implying or trying to imply that Haliburton has a lesser ability to create offense in the half court when, again, like you mentioned, early in the shot clock or early in possessions, he's actually elite at it, and not necessarily even like early, but like not within the last 6 seconds of the clock. The Pacers were, I think this is going to be shocking to people. The Pacers were third in overall half-court efficiency in the regular season. Not only were they third to, I think, the Boston Celtics and the Oklahoma City Thunder, third to those elite half-court generating offense teams, they also played against a set defense 79% of the time, which is 7th in the league. And not only that, that's the highest percentage among any team in the top 13 in half-court offensive efficiency. So they were ridiculously efficient, and they also played against a set defense way more than every other team, or that is anywhere near as good as they are in the half-court. You could argue that they are the best half-court team in the entire NBA, which is completely different from what you would hear like in terms of overarching perspectives on the Pacers. Oh, you just got to keep them out of transition, and they can't score. They actually don't get in transition as much as you think, and they score with the best of them. So yeah, to cut to the point, they destroy you in the half court. They space you out. They play more quickly in the half court, and they are extremely efficient. You have to stop them in the half court to win, to beat them in the long run.